computer. Well, welcome to the Titan Circle Forex Trading Study Group. My name is Dan Hansen. I'm your host. Today is June 8th, 2025. And today we're going to cover the topics of highs and lows, basically support and resistance or levels, trends, call it whatever you want. And we're also going to cover our box system, which is the SMT box system, as well as the Fibonacci tool. Da, da, da. All good stuff. So now I know, Kelly, you have the new
Yes,
indicator.
I've only just downloaded the box system on Friday morning, I think it was.
Gotcha. I'll be right
Yeah,
back.
so
Just call me right now. Hang on, I'll be right. Hang on.
so I'm looking forward to this.
Mhm. I had it on my trading view, but it seems to have gone away. And Dan and I tried to find it again earlier. We couldn't get it to come back. So we have to work on that at some point.
So yeah, it should show up in your, not the favorites anymore like it used to. So if you don't have the link to it, I know Letitia, you've been having a challenge trying to get it to run, and I don't know why my screen won't work with me here. There we go. There we go. I can get a little more screenshot size. So anyways, the indicator is uploaded from, I'll share the link if you don't have it. But Letitia, you said you're having a challenge still, right?
Right.
G-Money said he didn't respond back to see if he'd be on the call or not, but
Okay. So we'll get it.
we'll get it. But if you have the old indicator, which is what I have still showing, I said the old SMT schedule, so I'm going to just ask if you can all mute for a second. So I can, there we go. So anyways, so today we covered in, I'm going to turn off the indicator for the quantum trader, which is our boxes, and basically going to go over what we discussed this morning in G Money's class, which is basically the 1, 2, 3 strategy. And the 1, 2, 3 strategy is so simple, it blows my mind. And it works on all time frames. And I don't know why my computer screen is messing with me. There we go. Did everybody see my screen okay? Cool.
What do you think? Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. So one of the things that we always look for, and it doesn't matter what time frame you're on, is your high and low. So right down here, you can see I've got a low down here, and I've got a high up here. So this is the zone I'm pretty much looking for to trade within. So once you find your high and low, let me get my text box up here and it'll show it to you. History strategy. There we go. So it's, like I said, it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. We find our range, our high and low. Then what we'll do now is we'll fib it. And depending on how you use your fib, I sometimes have it run to the end, but we don't have to. As long as you can see the numbers. The strategy says to put in the trade either at the 50. We're going long positions because the trend is going in an upward trend. And then I'm going to duplicate this and just take it up to 0 as our take profit. Our stop loss is usually at a low. So we can either take this low right here, or we can take the low down here at the full day. So I'm actually going to utilize this low right here, just a tad bit below it. Use it there. And then I'm also going to take the same chart, same position. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to put it at the 618 and still go to 0. So the first trade is going to be, as I said, a 2-to-1 trade. And this one's almost a 2.5 or almost 3-to-1 trade. We can always take it up the extensions as well. So does anybody have any questions at the moment about any of how this 1, 2, 3 strategy works? All right, cool.
No,
Go ahead, Letitia, you have a question?
no, I said no, I don't have any questions.
How about you, Kelly? So, does anybody
No,
have
yeah,
any, what's that?
good. So
Did
you're
you,
doing that on the daily, are you?
I'm
But
sorry,
you
what?
can do that on any,
You
are
can do
you
it
on
on any
the,
time frame, correct.
yeah, perfect. Thank
So,
you.
yeah, any time frame. So you could, if you're on the 1 hour, you can do the same thing. And if you notice, there's a load high here, same load high down the daily. Can still utilize that same high. We came back and tested the 618 already. Came back and tested the 382. Right now it's playing around with the 236. So even on the 1 hour, if we decided to, we could even take our fib.
Okay, I got a quick question, Dan.
Go ahead, go for it.
Okay, is that low? Is that the low of the big box? Is just you?
There's
Are you
no
just
boxes involved whatsoever.
okay? So that's just the low that you picked out.
These are just right. These are just basically highs and lows that I picked out.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm looking for a trend. What's interesting, I could also turn this around because we got this still downward trend that hasn't played out yet. However, it could go the other way, but either way, the trade's still going to look the same, no matter what time frame you're on. And I like the 382 as a launch, and you can do as many trades as you want. And it's all about the lot size that you use per trade, which will tell you how much you're willing to risk or lose. And a 0.03 will give me, and we're talking how many pips? 772 pips. Ooh, that's a lot of pips. There's a lot of money to be made right there.
If my mic is on, can you turn it off for me? I'm having a problem with my cell phone.
No worries, I got you covered.
Okay, buddy. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. Got you covered. But yeah, it's you could do it any time frame, doesn't matter. But here's the interesting thing that when we were talking about counter trade trending, and doing pullbacks. So what could happen here is we got the nice impulse up here, a beautiful impulse. Have the correction way down here. Now we're looking for where the price may go. So that's the move I'm looking for overall, just taking a quick snapshot of this. Not even looking at where this trend could be going. However, we could have a challenge right at about here. Price has to at least get above that for us to, above the 0 for us to continue to go higher. That's what I was talking about, that breakout strategy I was looking at a couple of days ago, where I set a buy limit at 236 to take it up the extensions. Or if it breaks below the 50, I'd go trade it down and keep going down to complete this downtrend. But that's not going to happen, at least in the 1 hour. That's the swing I'm playing. I'm looking for buys, so I'm looking for entries. And we have several. If we look at our, now we can go dig it. They call it ETM candlesticks. Kelly, are you hey Eric, how you doing, buddy? Long time no see.
Fantastic, man. How you doing?
Doing great.
Yeah.
Right.
I just got off one training. I'm giving training at 5, so I just saw you on, so I just wanted to support you.
Cool beans. And shoot me a link so I can likewise see how you're doing, what you're up to. I haven't talked to you in a bit. I love that. That's the beautiful thing about this community is we all share information. Eric's a buddy of mine. We go way back. I don't know how long ago, Eric, but we go back a ways. I'm also going to introduce you to a new fib tool today that I enjoy that will kind of give us a better look, a better read on this trend. So I'm going to hide this fib. The fib that I like is over here. It's called the trend-based fib extension. And basically you draw it from here, whoops, and then you drag it back to here. So what it does is it draws up to your high, gives you the pullback, and then it will show you where, so the goal is the 1. And notice the 236 is right at the very top of this impulse. So it's called the trend-based Fibonacci tool. And trading it from at least the 50, the 236 in this case would be a good place because it's down here. Place it below the low, catch it at the 382, and you can catch it at the 50 as well. So there's several ways you can play this. If you want to use the same low or use this low, the 236 is always a good place to test. If price goes below the 236, either direction, we know there's going to be a little bit of struggle with price because it's the strongest level on the Fibonacci tool according to G Money for sure, and what I've found out even back testing. So if you haven't used this Fib extension tool, it's pretty powerful. I like it. What I used to do back when I first started learning how to trade is I did a crazy thing called drawing some boxes, just kind of what G Money did, except my boxes were far different. Let's see, just we don't need that. Sounds right. So basically, I would measure the impulse. Come on, buddy, get to my impulse. Eventually. If those of you who heard my brother singing, it's weird. But anyways, so this is the impulse from the low to high. I take the correction, take my little box, drag it to here, and see how my extension at least goes to the 1. That's what I did before I learned about this trend-based Fibonacci tool. I would take and physically draw the lines, similar to what G Money did with his boxes, which now we're going to put back on the boxes. And where did they? Oh, there they are. It's a tiny little box. Here we go. So now, just being the 1 hour, it's almost a similar trend, but not as big. It's not the big trend that I drew before, but it's still the same. Let me find out our Fibonacci tool that I drew. Boom. So it literally measured the low to high, but the box system only looks back 24 or 204 candlesticks in the past. I'm going to remove these objects. So we're going to take a look at this. So what makes the box system really nice is it gives you an exact location of where to start drawing your fib. 1 hour low, fib to the 1 hour high. It's right now sitting at the 618. We could get this retracement down to 786. Now we're going to be looking for an entry. It could just, when the market opens, it could just turn around and go back straight up. We still have bullish configuration here. We have the 52, the 17 box midpoints, the 52 in blue, dark blue line, and you got the green 17. So it's still bullish. However, this 382 is going to be a high level of support and high level of resistance, because this is if we turn on the cloud, this would be an area where the cloud is just basically creating an equilibrium zone. So it's either come back and retest the green on the 17, or we're done. Since we got this base drop here at the 50, we continue down at least to 786. If not, keep going lower and just totally break the trend and totally go against the way the market's moving, which is a possibility too. And I also will come down to this is where I start getting a little more complicated. But look at how tiny 5 minutes. So we're still bearish on the 5 minute structure. So there still seems to be enough momentum based on the 5 minute structure to continue going down. So you can, same principle applies. Even though we got the big fib on the 1 hour, we take a smaller fib from high to low. And we can kind of guesstimate where price can go. So we got two choices here. The 236 is going to be a strong area of resistance on the downtrend, but this whole zone, the 786, is within our extensions of the downtrend fib. So that's why it's interesting how that's why I decided when I'm going to get an entry. So I'm going to be looking for buys at the 786. If it doesn't keep going below the zero here, I'm going to either get back in at the 50 or just keep selling at the 236, have this pullback. That's where a lot of things, we got to watch the momentum, because when these boxes shift to the right, they will change position. So let me get my little rectangle box back. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's get rid of these fibs. And see these tiny little boxes here. You can take a rectangle box and kind of predict where price is going to go next. So as G Money was pointing out earlier, once we get past this high candlestick here, the midpoint of this 204 box is going to shift down. So I believe it's going to shift down to at least this area of support and resistance. So this is going to be the key. And the way to test that out is you can do this on your own if you want to, but just take a little box, draw from high to low. Turn your midpoint line on. And you can see where once it goes down to this level here, once it goes down to here, I think it's this level, I believe, right there. Yep. Let me make sure you can put a line there. Yep, there we go. Close and pretty close. See how oops. That's going to be next drop. So we're going to take our 50 there. See, the midpoint is almost right exactly going to be right about where this line of support and resistance I drew. Very close. And if we look deep in there, we can change time frames. There's something in here that's going to keep price at that level. My guess is we're going to find either a rally-based rally or drop-based drop. There she is. Right there. So there's a stop of price to come back up to. And as this price drops, it'll eventually hit this located. At least the 52 will start pushing price down. The 17 is still pointing down. So now I guess we're gonna have to look further left to find out where it's gonna hit price. There's an area over here of interest. And that's where, when you switch time frames, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for where price may go to. So I'll put the extensions on there. We'll go with the higher time frame. That's where you start with the daily, walk down, look for different price areas. That's too far, but yeah. So but we're still bullish on the daily. We're probably just going to get a pullback to 32.50. If not the 32.50, 32. Go back to our 5 minute. And what are we looking at? 33.36. And we've got 33.25. So yeah, we have a lot of things to go down to. We're going to go down to 32. Where did I go? Oh, there's going to be something down here because price is here at 33.10. And I was saying at some point, I'm looking for price to get down to 32.70s, which is pretty much this zone here. Right here, I'm looking for something in this fair value gap area. That's pretty much how that works. It's not very complicated, just keeping it simple. Simple markups, nothing fancy. So there's my 3,300. That's a nice zone to hit. That'd be an area of support and resistance. And he was looking at the 4 hours, and we got a 4-hour rally base rally right there. Boom. And it's just eyeballing things. And once you get used to it, you'll get to see these patterns over and over and over again. And if you're really into patterns, there's a harmonics. I always like the harmonics. One of my biggest things is just this pattern. Very simple. Impulse, correction,
Oh, Lord.
impulse. I know, right? And then come down to at least here. I know a lot of stuff, right, Mr. Iris?
Yeah.
So I'd be looking for 32.94 as an entry level, somewhere in that area. And that would be completing that pattern. Then once it gets to this pattern, price will be shooting up this way. So, yeah.
While you're on here, Dan, can you explain how the harmonics works? Because I really don't understand it.
Okay. All right. Well, the
If that's
harmonic.
okay with everybody else.
Okay, no worries. That's what we're here for. We're here to learn something new. And that's what I'm here to do, is show you what they are. Harmonics is nothing more than a Fibonacci tool. So it basically takes your swing low to swing high. And so usually it'll come down to 786 is where the trend will end, somewhere in that area. But I like this a little deeper. So what it does is our first take profit, it's going to be at the 50, then the 382, and of course the 0. So on the harmonics, the entry level would be pretty much at this level here, somewhere in here. I'll take the 786 because I like it. And it should take us up to at least the 0. And then it can keep riding it all the way up. And it'll hit the 236 will be the challenger. So notice I have as a area of support and resistance, it prices at 33.68, which was the high and low of the 1 hour. And there's the 1 hour. There's our pretty much a high and low. Was that the 1 hour? I forget, but the 1 hour, pretty much this would be the low and the high would be up here. So that'd be basically a 1 hour fib if you use the harmonic pattern.
Okay, I have another question.
Mhm.
So when you draw it out,
Mm-hmm.
to look like the bat or whatever it is that it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean when you draw it out like that?
Oh, so it shows me which way the pattern is supposed to end. So as Money always says, the price is looking for
Can you delete that and
yeah,
then
I'm gonna
and
delete
then
a
draw
lot of
out,
stuff.
yeah,
I'm
draw
gonna
out the harmonic?
Yep, I'm gonna hide a bunch of this stuff. I'm gonna hide actually everything. I'm gonna hide everything. I'm gonna put it into a folder. Group drawing. I'm gonna hide it. I'm gonna hide the drawing. There we go. Okay, so what was your question again?
How you draw out the harmonic?
Okay, so a harmonic is basically looks for an impulse. It looks for an impulse, correction, another impulse, and then the next correction. And then
Okay.
what it does is it draws this, and then it comes down and follows, and that's the pattern.
Okay.
Just connects the low points to create that batwing pattern.
So that just creates the low points, the higher low, the lower low and the higher low with those 2 points. And then the center is what considered the
The
equilibrium?
center is considered a take profit zone.
Okay.
And because it's probably going to, because what you're going to do is you're going to fib from low to high.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the lower wing is between the 618 and the 50.
Right.
So the 50 would be a good, and if you notice the box patterns, we got the 17 box
Mm-hmm.
is pretty much right at the 50. So we know we're going to get a pullback, and we got this right at the 618 as a drop base drop. And that's where the bat wing can go a little lower because the simple fact that this downtrend has not reached its full potential. Usually it'll come down to the 786 or somewhere lower. Usually the 786 is a good pullback area. That's what we're looking for. It may or may not make it. And right now on this time frame, we are actually looking at I know it doesn't look very pretty, but we got a lower high here.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, are we going to get a higher high to beat the zero? That's the ultimate question. Or are we truly on a downtrend or a reversal in the market to where it's going to keep going lower? So the next test will be the 236. If you keep extending a line out, eventually they'll hit the 236. But that's what I'm saying. It's where the 236 becomes a high level of resistance and can make or break us. We got a couple, as you can see, the 236, those zones have been tested several times, going up and kind of failed. So right now it's trying to get enough momentum to either ricochet to come back up and go above the zero, or it's going to come back and test this low, which would be interesting.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, that would be
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so I know I'm late, but so what we're talking about for enter and exit and TP? I missed
Mhm.
what I-
Well, right
So
now it's choosing
this
the
is
one.
the down. This is we were looking at a downtrend, right?
No, right now
There.
we're looking at an uptrend. So let me
Oh,
get rid of this.
because I heard you say something about the middle.
The middle is just a correction. So you got the impulse, correction, impulse. Now we're in a correction of a correction. So they call this a complex correction, or it could be an indication that we're going to totally change the trend and break. Once we break below the 76 and close below that, the next level of the test is going to be the 1. which is down here. So this is the next level that's going to be tested, is right down here. Will it make it? There's enough momentum based on the boxes to say yes. There's enough momentum to keep pushing down. We got the bearish trend. No, we're still bullish trend. We could have it. We got enough momentum. We got enough ceilings above us. That's why I'm saying we're still bullish on the 1 hour. However, if we go down to the 5 minute,
Yeah.
when you go down to the 5 minute, you're talking a whole different animal here. Because right now it's showing bearish.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So this could still be part of that big complex pullback. So let me put my fib prices on, like send that to the right. Okay, cool. So you can kind of see where price can go to the 786. And if it rejects off the 786, it could turn around and if it breaks and closes below, it may come down and test the 3270 zone. But I'm looking for like 3294 was a level I was looking at because of this area right here. The fair value gaps, we got one right there. Otherwise, we have just even on the what time frame are we on? 5 minute. I won't go that far. That's just too far to go. If you're looking for a support and resistance level, just look at the 1 hour time frame. We got a Northern Gulf candlestick right here. Right here is an area on the 5 minute BEC.
I mean, what? Support.
BEC, Pearl engulfing candlestick. So this is where you're looking for. That's why I'm saying the 786 is going to be a high level to test because it's just sitting right there at the 786. It's sitting right in the middle. And if you're into fair value gaps, some people are. You got a fair value gap right here.
What's that?
That's right. And it's a 5 minute. And you got a 5 minute. So right here in this whole zone between these two levels, the 786, you got the fair value gap, and you also got that BEC down below. So that could be an order, an entry level at the 786. And if you do that properly, all you need to do is set your stop loss just below these two candlesticks for your entry up. So if we're going to take the
What is
786,
that, 3290?
what's that?
That's it. You said stop loss be at 3290?
Our entry is going to be somewhere around 3,300. And you can take your take profit all the way up to 0 or the 2, 3. I would take it only up to the 236, especially with gold. No, that'd be 5, almost a 6-to-1 trade ratio.
236, what, 3372?
At 33.72. Yeah, so the only thing that's going to change all that is if price breaks these two levels and decides to challenge this low. And I've seen that we saw that happen Friday. Did exactly that. So yeah, Friday was that was the interesting zone. This is where I was talking about breakout strategies. I was looking for price to either go up at this level, somewhere in here, and it turned and went the opposite direction. I was looking for the entry somewhere around this peak here. I said, no way, we're done. We're going the other direction. Bada bing, bada boom. It just turned around and kept going south. And right now, based on just the 1 hour, we still have momentum enough. And if you even look at this Awanda chart, we got this huge gap right here, which is an area of concern right in that area. That's a 1 hour fair value gap. I can type, right? There you got a 1 hour fair value gap that price can come to. Which is still, if we look at the big fib I have from just the other day, and fib still has not played out. It's still sitting at the 618, and the 786 is right down below. So that's the question. So when the market opens today, and what happened to me last week is it totally skipped over my zone and just went the other direction and said later and never came back to touch it. And this is the zone. This is the zone that I was playing last week, and it just shot above that, opened it up. Now it's coming back to test it again. That's why I think we're going to test the zone one more time. It is going to ricochet off that and continue going up, or it's going to break through and continue going down.
So the fair value gap means a reverse?
No, fair value gap means that there's liquidity there. That means there's a combination of buyers and sellers. We don't know how many. We don't know which is more powerful, but we know that's a zone where, Eric, you know a little bit about fair value gaps, right?
What was that?
How you doing? Oh, Eric took it.
He just said he had to go, Dan, I think.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't hear him. Thank you. Appreciate that. So fair value gaps, I usually don't talk about them much, but I noticed this is a gap I was trying to play last week. And it just shot open and just went up and back. The market likes to go back to these gaps and at least test it, if not close it. So that means there's some liquidity down here that, buyers and sellers, there's somebody down here, we don't know who, but somebody down here is playing jump rope with us. So
Question, Dan.
yes.
So how do you recognize a fair value gap?
Usually a fair value gap is and this one it's obvious. You can take
That's not obvious to me because I don't understand it.
well, there's a huge gap between this high and that low.
Okay. Can you move
Usually,
your little bar, your
What's that?
purple thing? Can you move that from there just so I can
Yes.
see the gap?
That is the gap.
That is the gap, right?
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Mhm.
So yeah, so this is what I was looking for last week. I was actually looking for a price to continue going down. But because I had this engulfing candlestick here, I was expecting the price to come back and continue going down, but who was wrong? I was. Who knows? News can change everything.
I've heard them talk about fair value gap. And so, of course, when I see a big gap like that, I know that's a gap. But I've seen them say this is a fair value gap, and I don't see a gap like that, a big opening between the two like that.
Well, this is rare. The more common one you'll see is where you have a candlestick like this, like these two bullish candlesticks.
Mhm.
You just take from this wick to that wick. That too is a fair value gap.
Okay, so that's what I didn't understand about it. Of course, I know a gap when I see a gap in the two like that
Right.
one. But when
Look at
I heard
how
them talk about it, it didn't look like a gap to me.
Mhm. And usually the fair value gap loves to come back and touch the 50 of the fair value gap to continue going higher. Notice how it played off that and went well. Then it just shot up and turned around. And you need to get through a zone, you need a drop base drop. And here's a drop base drop right here, followed by another drop base drop. So this fair value gap now has been closed. However, we're left with a drop base drop. So now I can change this candlestick, this zone, to a ETM demand zone, supply zone rather, not demand zone. And it's a 1 hour drop base drop. And this is what she was marking up this morning. So he's looking at these little things. So price is in between here. And so he's looking for price to come touch this zone similar to this because there's a 12-hour. He found something on the 3 hour and the 12 hour, but I don't go that high. I'm happy with this little area. There's enough pips to be had between this zone and this zone. And we're talking about how many pips?
Now, go back over to that fair value gap.
Oh, 200, 2,000, yeah,
2,266.
2,066 pips, yeah. Or basically 226 pips. That's a lot of pips. That's a good range. So what was your question, Ms. Iris?
Go back to where you marked that fair gap on the left to the right there. Now, I know this is space, right? But what
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out is that, is the, let me see, up or down? Let me see. Okay, so it's going up.
Mm-hmm.
That turnaround came down. I'm trying to
What?
understand the white one. How? I know it's a gap, but
Mhm.
I'm trying to figure out it's going up, right?
Correct.
And it turned out, and then it went in, the black one came in. Did it continue down, or is just how?
You mean talking about this one?
No, the one at the bottom. The bottom. Okay, the fair gap.
Oh, this is where I thought prices are going to continue going down. So
So
here, what we
the
started out with,
three candles make the fair value gap. Is that correct?
well, 3 or 2, depends on how many. Usually it's 3, and there's
Okay,
one big gap between. But this one, there's a true physical gap.
so
If I
you
go
count
to-
the little white one, like the
all I did was go from the wick of this black candlestick,
or the black.
wick of this white candlestick above it. And if I go down in time frames, it'll probably start closing. And we may see a close. Nope, look at that gap. I think it went all the way down to the 5-minute. I think it went all the way down to the 5-minute. Yep, there it is.
So Dan,
Yes, ma'am.
so a gap is formed normally during the weekend days because the market is
No,
closed.
this one started on, yeah, that was Friday, and then it
Yeah,
opened
so it went through, it
Sunday.
opened on Monday.
Right.
Did it open on Monday or Sunday?
Monday. Well, Sunday Asian time. So
Yeah, so that's what I've noticed when I've seen those big gaps that they're generally during the weekend.
yeah, I've seen them done during between the London and New York session only a
Mhm.
couple times. Or anytime there's news. Anything
Mhm.
that'll spike price up really fast. So this spike came at the close of the Friday, and then it opened
Friday.
up. Then it opened up here. So yeah,
Mhm.
that
Okay,
happened over a weekend. Yeah.
over the weekend, yeah, okay.
Mhm.
So it's almost like the market closed
Mm-hmm.
and then the
It opened.
buyers and sellers, the range changed, I guess the liquidity changed. People were posting before the market reopened. So when it reopened,
No,
it opened
not
higher?
necessarily.
No? Okay.
What it's basically telling you is that there were orders to be filled up here,
Mhm.
up in this zone. There's orders to be filled up here. Like somewhere up here, like in this zone, there's some kind of order to be filled. I know it's terrible. I can't get it right. I gotta take this magnet off. So in this zone, there are some orders to be filled. There's just, and so there was not enough sellers willing to sell in this zone between that the this low
And
and that high.
Friday.
So what happened was the market opened higher than the previous daily high.
I
Or
guess that's what I was trying to say, that they had orders, but when it closed on Friday, they hadn't taken care of those orders. When it opened higher that Monday
right,
or whatever, that Sunday night or Monday.
right. So there's still orders sitting in this zone gap here because it just never came back and filled in the hole to see, okay, who wants it. So right now we're gonna probably looks like we're gonna come back and retest that level. look at, see how close it is to testing it. But there's that right here. You see, we're so close. There's a fair value gap all the way from the other side. But notice what stopped it. Remember, I drew this little pink zone because there's some supply in there over in this area where the price is just above there. That's where there were enough sellers, but are there enough buyers in here? Enough sellers still in here. There are buyers waiting, but there's still some sellers in here because we still got some sellers in there. So yeah, it could turn around and come back down, and right now in the 5 minute, it's still pointing down to that level.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah. I know we've gone off tangent, but I love going off tangent. And just answering questions. So that's how.
Mhm.
And isn't it interesting? Look at where the bottom of the 204 on the 5 minute chart is, right in that pink spacer is perfectly positioned at the 618. So will it come back and test the 786? We don't know. The 618 is totally a big level of support. There's enough buyers keeping price up. Will they have enough oomph to keep pushing? We have a lot of pressure to the downside saying no way, at least on the 5 minute. But on the 1 hour, I said, oh, sure, yeah, we can just kiss it and call it a day because everything is still pointing up on the 1 hour. And my previous fib has not played out yet. So I came back and touched the 618. We're pretty close to it. It rejected off of it. Now we'll come back and touch the 0. And it's got to get past this base drop zone here, which is this level of support and resistance. I could get rid of this little line. That's it. Very simple. Any other questions? Any thoughts?
So when it opened today, today is Sunday. It opened today.
It will open today in about an hour or two. I think it opens at 5
Open at
o'clock
6
your
for
time.
me. 6.
And it opens at 6 your time. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 5 o'clock my time. Gotcha. So you got about an hour and 10 minutes. So that's going to be an interesting question. Which way is it going to open?
Okay,
Right
genius.
Well, we got a drop base drop, but here's the interesting thing. Let's think about this. We got 2 drop base drops right here. So the interesting thing is price could come back, touch this zone, and if it doesn't have enough power to go above that, it continued down to at least 32.75.
And that give it time to close that gap.
That would close that gap.
So enter at the 33.20. No,
It's gonna be
the dropping
dependent.
is gonna be like 3300, 3330, right?
Which one are you looking at? This area here?
Yeah, the 5.
33.24. That could be. Right now we're at 33.0.
Yeah.
Price is currently at 33.09. We could trade up to 33.24. I know it's
Oh,
going to
no,
test
come
it.
down. I want to come down.
Right. So we could test this zone right here, which is a drop, still a 1 hour drop base drop. So right now, this is the zone that we're trying to break out, and we're in the Asian session. So here's an interesting thing about the Asian session. And this is where it's going to be a test of your patience. It's going to test this level. It's going to come back and test this level and this level. So we're going to see some sideways dancing. Then it's going to decide whether it's going to come back here or halfway and come back up, or it's going to go the other way. And I could go the other way and just say, okay, we're going to go up and test this area. Gonna test it. I'm gonna test one, two tests. And this test could just say, forget it and test this again. Then we might test this area and then keep coming down. So there
Dan,
are two types of scenarios that we could be facing.
short position.
Huh?
Dan,
Yeah.
can you draw a short position box for
Sure.
this?
If I were a breakout trader, and I do love breakout trading, I would be looking for a long position from here to at least here. But my stop loss, it could be anywhere here. Probably at the top of that zone. That's almost a one-to-one trade.
Okay.
And, or at least to the backside, at least to the 50. That's a 1.5 to 1. Or if it decides to go the other way, I'd be looking for the short down here. Take me down to here. But my
Yeah.
stop loss right about there.
Okay.
That's called the breakout trade.
The short one.
The
So
short
that's like-
breakout trade is where I have the two stop loss zones in the middle. Like, so in other words, I'm calling this, let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of that back. So my zone I'm looking to break out of is this zone and this zone. That's the zone I'm looking to get through. So this is my stop loss zone.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking the way Asia normally runs, it usually runs sideways. So to be honest with you, this would be even more dangerous because technically the stop loss would be back here and entry would be down below here. So that's why I don't like this way. But if it does break out and go up, I'll look to buy at least to the 50. But if it goes below, I'd be looking for the sells below this zone here, just above this fair value gap, or better yet is I've been waiting for the trade to come way down here and put my stop loss somewhere up here and take it down to the 786, because the problem with this is it's just too short of a zone and it's too indecisive at the moment. And it's not enough there to say, hey, I love it. I'm just going to stick with it. Because right now we've got this situation which could be forming a drop-based drop. Could be, if that happens, that's what I'm hoping for. I'd be looking for the push through here, creating a drop-based drop and a continuation to the downside. At least to come back and test this level down here at 32.45. You know,
35.
I'd be looking for that to happen, whether it does or not. That'll be interesting, especially if the market is truly on if we truly have a reversal in the trend. And before I even finish with that, I'm going to close off with one. I'm going to share one other thing. I'm going to share the Forex Forex Factory. See if we got any news that could affect what's going on. So what do we got today? Let me share this. Let's share that. Forex Factory. There we go. So what we're looking for today, Sunday, we have nothing, but that's fine. If you're trading the UJ or GJ, they have some information coming out later tonight. Tomorrow, we've got no news except for 9 a.m. when we got wholesale inventories. And it's a yellow folder, so I don't expect it to be much of anything. Tuesday, we don't have anything. And now log in, please. Now we're looking at Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yep. So Wednesday is going to be the heavy volume day because we have consumer price index information coming out. So we have no news until the 11th. So a lot's going to depend on the UJ session. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Any other questions before we have a good one? And Letitia, keep reaching out to G Money, see if we can get your indicator fixed.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him. Thank you, Dan.
Okay,
Good
cool.
training today.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right.
Thanks, Dan. That was awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Kelly.
Okay, Dan,
Yes, ma'am.
Chris said he had a question.
Quick
Okay.
question, Dan,
Yes, sir.
I was in a trade before the market closed. I forgot to
Okay.
close out. Now I made a
Okay.
profit for $199.
You're in
And
profit $499?
yeah, I didn't even know it was in there. So
Okay,
is
so
there
when
any way I can set the stop loss, take profit, so time the market open in case it go the opposite
only
way?
when the market opens, yeah, you can move your take profit in, you can put your stop loss into profit, which I would do if you're up that high, or just close the trade and wait for the next one to show up.
I can't close it, but sometime when the market open, it just go the opposite way.
Right. So
I wanted to close time the market
But
open.
it's in a sale, it might just keep going.
I don't want to take that chance.
Drop.
But you can't close it before the market opens, though.
right, you
you
can't
know,
close it
You
before the
have to
market
wait
opens.
until the market
You
opens
have
and
to
close it
just
very
keep an
quickly.
eyeball on it when the market opens.
Be
and make your
fast with the
decision.
finger.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
So if it's going to open, if the market is going to open in an hour or so, then you should be able to, take your profit.
Right.
Yeah. Hopefully it don't move that fast. Cause I went in at a 0.3.
Did you share
Mhm.
the chart this morning at from the training?
G Money's chart.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't catch it. I missed it. So let's see if he posted a chart.
I think he did. Somebody said it was in the G Money TV.
Oh,
I guess it's at YouTube TV or something, his TV.
Oh yeah, I don't know where he put it. Yeah.
That's what I read. Okay,
Yeah.
Dan and everybody, I have to go.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds
Good to see
cool.
you all.
All right. Thank you all for such a lovely day. And
all right. Thanks,
happy
Dan.
trading, and hope everybody learned something.